Bless Squad, what's going on with y'all, man? It's your boy, Blessed Applesauce of the Bless Show, with another video here on Blessed to Invest. And today I want to talk about retirement plans because retirement is going to be very important for you people that are trying to invest, you're trying to grow your account. And the goal is always retirement, whether you want to do that at 35, 45, or the standard time of like 65, 70. And the two retirement plans we're going to talk about are 401ks and IRAs, because these are going to be the two main retirement plans. These are the most popular ones. They do also have like the 401k-B, the HSA. I'm going to do a separate video on those, but these are the main two, 401k and IRA. I'm going to discuss the differences, the benefits, and the cons between the two, and which one you should go for based on your current situation. So stick around through this video, spam the like button, sub down below, and let's get into it. So first and foremost, one of the most popular is probably going to be the 401k. Everybody talks about the 401k plan. And this one is a retirement plan that you can only access through your job. You need to have some type of employment to get it. Some jobs don't offer 401k unless you're like a full-time employee. So make sure you check on that if you have to be full-time, if you have to be part-time or whatever to get your 401k benefits. The good thing about a 401k is you can have, let's say you put 5% in, your company is going to match, let's say 5%. It really depends on the company. But the great thing about a 401k is whatever you put in percentage wise, up to a certain limit, the company is going to match that. So if you put $100 in and the company is willing to match $100, you literally get double that into your account. So it's literally free money that you're putting in. So I highly recommend, if anybody is working for an employer that has a 401k plan and they're willing to match, make sure you put money in, because you can, it's basically free money for retirement. So definitely do that. On top of that, the 401k plan, the good thing about a 401k is the taxes are going to be deferred. So let's say you make $2,000 every check, and before taxes come out, they're automatically going to take it off the top for your 401k, so you won't have to pay taxes on it. Then once it comes out, after your insurance and all that good stuff comes out, then they'll tax you, and then you'll have your pay that you actually see in your paycheck. But the 401k will be taxed, won't be taxed initially. It's going to be taxed after you end up pulling it out for retirement. And that's when you'll be paying tax on it. It's going to be an ordinary tax, ordinary income tax. So beware of that. The one thing, the difference between the IRA and the 401k is how they are taxed. We're going to get into this a little bit more, but basically the IRA is taxed before you put the money into the account, into the investment account, and the 401k is taxed after, when you pull money out of the investment account once you retire. So really, it's going to come down to, do you feel like you're going to be a lot richer when you retire, or you're going to be a lot poorer when you retire? You're going to be in a lower tax bracket or higher tax bracket. So a lot of people are going to be in a lower tax bracket. So they recommend doing the 401k. So you're going to be taxed when you pull the money out, when you actually need it, versus the IRA. You get taxed on it initially, and then you don't get taxed on it ever again. So best of both worlds. I recommend people do both. But if you have a job, definitely do the 401k first. On top of that, the 401k, the limits on the 401k is you can put $19,500 into the account every year. On vice versa with the IRA, you can only put $6,000 in there. So you can see the difference between the contribution wise. If you're maxing out your 401k, you can put almost $20,000 in there, versus the IRA, which you can only put $6,000. So if you really want to aggressively invest, and you want more than $10,000 going into your account, IRA can only hold $6,000 per year, versus the 401k, you can put almost $20,000 in there per year. So that's one of the differences between the two. Also, when you look at the IRA, it's for people that don't have, not say you don't have a job, but you don't need a job to have an IRA. You can set these up with your own investment broker. You can set them up with maybe like a third party place. I know there's like Primerica out there that does the IRA accounts. So once you set it up, you don't need a job to do it. So it's good for the people that are doing self-employment. They have their own business and they want to set up their own IRA. One tip is make sure you set up your IRA before you make over 129,000, because after that, you will not be able to open up a Roth IRA. That's for people that are under a certain bracket of money per year. So make sure you set that up initially so you always have it and you can continue to invest. After you make over 144,000, they're going to cut you off from the IRA, how much you can invest in there and what you can do. So be aware of that, because you will not be able to invest after you reach that threshold. That's just something to keep in mind. Unlike the 401k, it doesn't matter how much money you make. You can invest whenever. So that's the difference between the 401k and the IRA. The IRA is more for the people that don't have employment, and the 401k is for people that do have employment that want to invest, and then the employer is going to match with you, and then also the tax benefits between the two. So you have to decide which one works best for you. Do you want to pay your taxes initially, or do you want to pay your taxes after you retire? Me personally, I think it's better to pay them up front, because you don't know where you're going to be in 30 years from now. You may be making a lot more money. You may be needing, X amount of dollars or whatever. So paying it up front, just getting it over with, and then having it once you retire makes more sense to me. Also, there's a couple of things between the 401k and the IRA. With the IRA, since it is with, it's not with your employer, it's a lot more flexible, the things you can do. You're able to invest in a lot more options. You're able to pick and choose what funds you want to go into. I know for me personally, my IRA, they have like gold funds. You can do energy funds. You can do different type of funds that are more flexible on what type of investing strategy you want. If you want something that's super aggressive, where you're buying kind of like risky plays, you can go in and do that. Unlike the 401k, they're only going to give you a small selection of maybe like 10 or 20 funds you can buy. And they're all going to be set up by your employer. So it doesn't give you a lot of options. If you can, I recommend doing a S&P 500 index if the employer has it. A handful of employers do the S&P 500 index, and that's going to be your best fund. It's going to be the cheapest one. It's going to be the one that's going to give you the best returns, unlike a lot of these funds where they take out a lot of money. They have managers managing it and taking out a lot of fees and stuff like that. You want to stay away from that as much as possible. So when looking at a 401k versus IRA, the IRA has a lot more flexibility. You're going to be paying lower fees because you can pick and choose what funds you want to go into. But the 401k is going to have a little bit more fees, and it's less flexibility on what you can do fund wise, what you can get into it. But I still, if you're picking between the two, I still recommend the 401k overall. One, because it has the match for your employer. It's going to be tax deferred. And then when you get in the fund, you may not have a lot of options, but as long as you have an S&P 500 index fund, you should be okay. You're going to be able to minimize your fees as much as possible, almost exactly similar to your IRA fund. And you're going to be able to maximize your growth potential as well. So when you're looking at these two different funds, make sure you weigh your options. Do you work personally? Do you have an employer? Do you have a long-term time horizon where you want to take your money out fast? That will be more geared toward the IRA. Do you think you're going to be in a different tax bracket later on? You need to weigh your options to see, okay, which one works best for me? And then once you figure that out, you can pick and choose which fund works best. But they both work great. If you want to max out your 401k first and then open up an IRA as well, you can also do that. There's a lot of people that do that and then have $25,000, $30,000 going into both funds every year, and it works, and it's going to set you up long term for retirement. And you're going to be just fine. But if you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section down below. And that's going to wrap it up. It's been your boy, Blessed Applesauce. Stay blessed, and I'll see y'all next time on Blessed to Invest.
Just to see tomorrow is a blessing. Stay prayed up is the message. Everything about a nigga blessed. Everything about a nigga blessed.